34th hour of Adventurers Wanted Rebellion. Thank you, James. My name is Leo, and I will be your games master for this morning. This is a relaxed performance, which means we have a relaxed attitude to sound and movement from the audience for the benefit of people who would find it difficult to stay silent or still for the entire hour. The lights will stay exactly like this, and there should be no sudden loud noises, although there may well be some mood music underlying us. If you do need a break at any particular point, feel free to duck your head out and rejoin us when you're ready. If you do need any help, our stage manager over in the back right there is Naomi. Please catch her eye and she'll be happy to help you as far as she can. Is that everything? I think so. This is a tabletop role-playing game, which means that the four people on my left and right here play individual, unique characters in a fantasy setting. And as the games master, I control the fantasy setting. So the weather, the antagonists, the hordes of orcs that are about to beset them. That's literally where we left off. And to try and keep things fair, we interact with one another using dice. So the most common one will be the D20 is what we'll refer to it as, or a 20-sided die, if you're being geometrical, and icosahedron. 20 is very, very, very good, and 1 is very, very, very bad, and usually hilarious, depending on the situation. So, the story so far. The four characters that we have here are members of a rebellion who have, for the last 5 years, been under the shackles of an evil imperial cult. They have very recently thrown off said shackles, united the local region, and marched on the capital, where they drove out a very complacent cult and seemed to have won a great victory. They then decided, well, you'll see, they then decided that they wanted to find some more villages in the local area to liberate, and they went to the local township of Leeglen, about 15 miles away, and they found it torn apart for mines. They've been mining this mysterious ore which has magical, corruptive, explosive properties, and the entire town has been torn asunder with ravines which reveal this deep vein of this mine. They set off a rather large explosion of this magical ore, on accident, I assume, and well, it was on purpose. It was on purpose, but it went wrong, and this has brought upon them a group of orcs. About 150 of them, 100 to 150 of them, have just appeared on the horizon of the road out of town, blocking their path, and are now claiming that these lands are their ancestral home, and the party are invading. We'll jump straight back to that point in a moment, but first, let's meet our players and their characters. So starting with yourself, James, give us your name, your character's name, their pronouns, and tell us a little bit about where their head is at the moment.
My name is James. I am playing a tiefling warlock who is a he/him called Locke. He's very unlucky when it comes to rolling dice or attempting things, and he's quite upset about the death of one of his tiefling brothers / sisters / friends. Yes, but he's been depressed for most of the game anyway.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Tom. I'm playing Evan, who is a she/her, and I am a paladin. And in terms of, I've only just joined the game, and I don't know that I'm necessarily immediately in this situation.
No, maybe not. No, we'll come to Evan when we find her.
Could you spell
Evyn.
Okay.
Cool.
Asimar.
Or that. Yeah.
So you'll see.
You'll see.
Julia.
Hello, I'm Julia, and my character is Sea Scribe Venus, who is a she/her, and is a human sorcerer. And unless told otherwise, I think she's very naive and doesn't know what's going on.
So, for Twitter back there, Sea Scribe Venus, spelt as you would expect.
Sea as in waves, scribe as in writing, Venus as in planet.
Fantastic. What was the race? I didn't catch it.
Human.
Human sorcerer, of course. And yourself, Reese.
Hello, I'm Reese. I'm playing Walton Brinlaugh. Walton spelt how it sounds. Brinlaugh spelt differently.
We'll just go with Walton, shall we?
Walton, also good. He's a human sorcerer, and he's very excited to be here.
Fantastic. And a he, him.
Yes, he, him.
Okay, fantastic. So, the very last thing that happened was Kidmat John, the bovine cow-like 7-foot humanoid with blue skin, very high fantasy, had just spotted these warg riders, these orcs on these horrendous large wolves pacing down the hill towards the valley where the mine is, cutting you off from your escape, and a very large orc swung down from on her warg, stepped forward, raised her axe and says, "These are my lands."
Was it Suzma?
Suzma. She hasn't introduced herself, but you have also met some other orcs, led by an orc called Kesh. She calls herself Kesh, Kesh, and she has asked for sort of almost refugee status from Suzma to try and hide in your ranks away from her. Suzma sizes up the party in front of us, taking in the fact that 3 of you are merely human sorcerers, and you expect to drive us out of our lands. You know, I question myself, why have we not taken these lands back before, if this is what you are to oppose us with? Now, part of these lands, she says, is the ore which you are stacking onto that caravan. We saw the explosion that you created. Now we know what the ore is for. We know it is a weapon, and we'll be taking it from you.
Now listen here, Suzma.
How do you know my name?
I've heard about you. I smelt you coming.
You said it last hour, DM.
Oh, did I?
Yes.
My bad.
I was very, very happy to try and be diplomatic with you, but you have been very rude, and I've had a very rough week. So, I will give you one chance, and as I do this as an action, can I make my cloak of flies start buzzing around me to help with this intimidation check?
Right, so the
cloak that I'm wearing bursts, like from the black that it was, into lots of separate little buzzing flies. It looks freaky as hell.
Fantastic.
But I say, I'll give you one chance to turn around and walk out of here.
Roll your intimidation check. So take your d20 and add your intimidation modifier from your skill list.
Cool. So this gives you an advantage.
And I'll give you an
good.
advantage, yeah.
Cool.
Would I be able to aid with this one?
He's already got advantage, but
Okay.
yeah, if you want to look tough behind him, that's absolutely fine.
I will awkwardly load a crossbow behind him.
That's 25.
25. You can see, actually, that this display of magic does stir something in Suzma. You can see she has a moment of fear flash behind her eyes, and she recoils, and you feel quite proud of yourself. Like, it's one of the first things you've managed to do right, isn't it?
Yes. It's the highest roll I've ever had.
She goes, "One chance, you say? We'll see one chance. I'll give you your one chance." And she turns and starts to walk back to her warg, flips herself on, and does some cries at the top of her lung as she spins her axe in the air, and the warg starts heading back up the hill. And as you watch, there are 3 bats, large bats, unfurl their wings from the line of soldiers that were watching this up on the hill and start swooping down towards the valley, looking incredibly hostile. You can see the orcs that ride these bats scimitars in hand. And I need everybody to roll initiative, please, which will just mean taking your D20, which is the blue one there, and rolling your dexterity score.
So +2 to that.
I've rolled a natural 1.
Yeah.
Slow bats.
20.
20?
18.
18. You are gonna act on that.
Yeah.
We've both got 12.
Both got 12. So, and you've both got the same dex score.
Nope.
Oh, what's your dex
C
score?
Scribes is 14 and mine's 12.
Okay, fantastic. So C Scribe will go ahead of you then.
Indeed.
But first is Walton, quite appropriately because your crossbow was in hand anyway. As these 3 large, terrifying bats with orcs with scimitars on their backs, they're just flying down towards you, and they are definitely going to attack you.
Oh, do I have time to cast Shatter?
You do, but there is a range on that, and they're
Oh,
somewhat
dear.
out of range. However, they are within range of Lightning Bolt if you'd prefer to do
marvellous.
that.
So I will cast Lightning Bolt.
You'll manage
at
to
them.
catch 2 of them in this. Would you like to describe to us how your lightning bolt appears to everyone else?
Lightning Bolt will start as a small sparking Tesla coil light between my hands, and then shooting towards the. Are they in a particular formation?
They are. They're in a slight V formation, so you can get the 2 on the one in the centre and the one on the left, or the one in the centre and the one on the right.
I'll go with the one on the centre and the right, please.
Centre right. Okay. Centre right. Left. Let's. I've rolled my dexterity saving throws. As your lightning bolt jolts towards them. The highest I got was a 13. Now, could you just check what your DC is above your spells there on your left, on your right?
Oh,
sorry.
thank you. 15.
15, so I fail, which means you get to roll all your damage,
Marvellous.
which is a loss of d6s. It's 8. Here are 2 of mine.
Ah, thank you. May I grab one more? So I only have to roll these all twice.
I mean, it's not easy to read.
Oh, they're so pretty.
Thank you.
Those.
They were a birthday present.
Yeah. So 6, 5, 3, 1.
So 15.
Yep. And
It's almost like I do this all the time.
Still impressive to see.
25.
25 to both the centre and the right one.
And thank you.
No worries. So this lightning bolt very impressively shoots out and catches the bats. They're still swooping towards you, but you can see one wing is scorched and the back of the other is scorched. And they are not looking particularly good right now. Yeah, in fact, you've done a lot of damage with that one shot. At which point, the red overcast sky lightens. And choose a colour. Gold, and there is a gold sort of section that appears, and the sun, the honest to goodness sun, which the lot of you have not seen for 5 years because of these overcast skies, breaks through and suddenly stood next to you.
Is an anathema, which is something, kind of a celestial being.
The opposite of me, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you like, which is if you're somewhat demon-like, you can probably work out what an anathema is like.
Sexy.
Somewhat angel-like.
Yes, that's the word. And so an angel, rather practically armoured, with sort of long plaited hair, and with a very great deal of focus in her eyes. She looks out the blue of bats and seems to know what she's going to do.
What is she going to do?
Well, how close are they?
So they're in the air, but
She does not know what she's going to do.
they're in the air, but they're about 90 feet away.
Okay.
Trigonometry.
Nice. In which case, she's going to look at. In fact, she's going to look at these people, these very fine people, and look around and sort of then just stand and then draw a long spear from her back, and actually stand and stand next to them, sort of just wordlessly nod at everyone, and use sacred weapon to make that long, rather ornate spear start glowing with golden energy.
Fantastic.
And stand ready with it. Standing around.
Despite never having seen this beautiful lady, well, I don't know.
Yeah, she's whatever. You
Sure,
like. Yeah.
sure.
She's
Relatively attractive
right.
lady.
Got a
Before
personality too.
I haven't seen that
Yeah,
yet.
no, I'm just saying.
Listen, I'm not assuming she doesn't. I'm just saying she's...
She might have a horrible personality.
For heaven's sake, why are you making me have this conversation? Why is this a bit we're doing?
I don't know. It's awkward. Let's carry on.
My point is, despite never having seen her before, you seem to get a sense of calmness from her, and you trust her in your hearts. I got a reward for my maths. Did you see that? Fantastic. So, and as her spear begins to glow gold, we turn to Sea Scribe. Or do you prefer Venus?
I prefer Sea Scribe Venus.
Sea Scribe.
Really.
Oh, the whole thing. Okay, fantastic. No worries.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just incomplete.
I mean,
Yeah. Well, I'm going to send another lightning bolt.
fantastic. Would you like to narrate to us how your lightning bolt appears to the crowd?
Yeah, well, no, just it's your own personal spin.
Yeah, it's just flavour.
Spin. Well, it's purple lightning.
Okay, cool.
It forms a line 100 feet long, but it's a lightning of a form you've never seen before. It's purple with like sparkles and
nice.
It's very dangerous.
Fantastic. So as this lightning bolt appears, one of the bats, the centre bat, in fact, with the orc, seems to see it coming this time. They know what's up. But the one on... Would you like to angle it so that you hit the one on the left or the one on the right?
Or the one on the left.
The one on the left. The one on the left has not been hit yet, so that makes sense that they would fail their dexterity saving.
Yeah.
So one of them has passed, one of them has failed. So roll 8d6.
Do you want to use some of my cool d6? They're like fireballs.
Ooh, I'm James, and
all
I've
of
got
them?
cool d6.
And these as well, yeah.
Oh my god.
You get lots.
All of them.
Ow!
Don't feel self-conscious. Your
Oh,
d6s are
that's-
also amazing.
10, 20.
Reese.
You rolled really well.
I have.
38.
38!
It's a lot of sixes.
It's a good job.
Says-
It's a good job the middle one passed its saving throw, or that would have killed it. Seriously.
Not a good job for us.
Well, hey, it's a good job for me. So yeah, this purple sparkly lightning bolt courses through the centre one. It manages to juke a little bit and get out of the way, but it's still looking pretty rough. The one on the left didn't know what bloomin' hit it. Like, it is stunned. Not mechanically, but it looks completely shocked. That brings us to... Oh, is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn, Sea Scribe Venus? Or are you good?
I have no idea what else I can
You
do.
can
so
move to sort of position yourself tactically, or...
I'd like to do that. I'd like
or
to
just shout
I'd
something
like
to
to
your
position
allies?
myself tactically, please.
Okay, so around you, you're in the middle of a ruined hamlet with
Right.
ravines everywhere, and there's a
Okay.
caravan just behind you, which they've been loading up with this ore.
Could I get on top of the caravan?
You can get on top of the caravan, yeah,
That's what I'll do
absolutely. Okay, cool. So you climb on top of this caravan
Yeah.
to get yourself a better shot.
Absolutely.
Locke.
I'm stood a little bit away because I would not have done my fly cloak if they were within 5 feet of me, basically.
Right. Okay. So you're a little ahead.
So I'm a little bit ahead. Basically, I've got.
So you're definitely getting attacked then.
Well, I don't want. If there's an area of attack about to happen, I don't want these guys to get caught in it as well.
Very, very considerate of you.
I know. So I'm going to fire 2 Eldritch Blasts off. Both of them at whatever the weakest looking one is.
Well, the weakest looking one is actually the one on the left, thanks to the superlative lightning bolt that Sea Scribe Venus just shot off.
Yeah, I'll do. I'll pretty well get him with both of them then.
Okay, so roll your 2 die.
Natural 20. Woo! He's back, baby! Self-esteem through the roof.
Yeah. He never left.
And a 5.
Don't call it a comeback.
Yeah.
I mean, if you'd like to see the critical as just 2 regular hits, you can.
I mean, that's what I will be doing. Yeah.
Okay, so that's 2d10 damage then. As please do narrate to us your Eldritch blasts.
So that's 12, and it's critical. It's only because I get +3 because of my agonising class.
So just once.
Yeah, so that's 15 points of damage, and with a kind of a rage, which he doesn't know where it's come from. He's not felt this much emotion for all week. A massive blast of red energy comes out of his hand, strong and powerful. It hits into the other, and the other one kind of flies a little bit.
Sure. Well, if you don't mind, can I take over the narration?
Please do.
So the first one, the reason the second one hits is this: the second one, it was actually on target, but the first one blasts a hole through the bottom of the bat and up through the orc riding it, and the orc just tips to the side and falls to the ground as the bat skitters out of control and nosedives to the ground. The second Eldritch Blast flies harmlessly because the target has been killed.
Yay! 1 kill.
Well, you're doing pretty well this session now. Cool. That actually brings me to my bats, finally. One of them's definitely going to come for you, and I'm going to say, Sea Scribe Venus, you're looking scarier than the others, so I think you've made a target of yourself.
Is that my precarious position on top of the barrel?
Yeah, there you are.
Rather foolish.
I tricked you into it, didn't I?
Yeah.
So we're gonna. So the orcs swoop down on their bats. One will go against Locke first. So we get 2 attacks with the scimitar as they come down, slashing side to side. That is I can't read because my eyes are terrible.
I mean, they're both.
It's +5, so 19 and 18.
Yeah, come on, yeah.
Okay, so. Oh my lord in heaven. So you take 26 slashing damage.
Is
Yeah.
that it?
26 slashing damage as the orc swoops out of nowhere. Well, no, not nowhere, but swoops out of the sky and brings its sort of cavalry scimitar down on your chest.
Is it flying by? Or is it going to stay near me?
It's now it's flapping in front of you. It's in combat with you.
Okay, perfect.
Actually, no. It's gonna take a bonus action to disengage and then move out. Yeah, because it can do that. I've just read. Fantastic. So it swoops and flies back up again, climbing away from your very scary angel person. I've just read an ability I could have used.
It's too late. It's too late.
It's too late. Sea Scribe Venus, the second one swoops towards you.
One of the attacks at disadvantage.
One of the attacks at disadvantage?
Using my protection fighting style.
Would you like to narrate that for us?
Yeah, I'd love to. Having stood there with my spear pointed out and my shield in my other hand, my shield glows momentarily, and I sort of lean almost like effortlessly to the side and interpose myself. Thus, it's attacking and trying to get around me. Thus, it has disadvantage on trying to reach you.
So in an almost basketball style move,
Oh no.
Evan jumps, shield in hand, and tries to block the path of the bat, and the bat has to sort of swoop around her before reaching Sea Scribe Venus. Nonetheless, I have rolled a 14 and a 15 to hit. So would you just mind telling me your armor class? It's on your first sheet there? 12, yes. So, however, I think it would be unfair to not tell...
Your first level spell. I've got a mow on my mouth.
You have a spell called Shield.
Yes.
This one here.
So you
Very useful shield I have, yes.
Yes, so if you would like to spend a spell slot now, you can use that.
I would like to use my shield. I think that would be a very good idea.
Okay, so it's a magical sort of aura that protects you from attack. Would you like to flavour it for us, or?
Flavour it.
Okay, well,
Strawberry flavoured. Is it kind
Sure.
of strawberry flavoured shield?
sure, fine, why not? So this this magical sort of pinky reddy aura with
Yes.
the same sparks that you saw on the
Yes.
lightning bolt appears out of nowhere, and the scimitars skitter off of it harmlessly, turning what could have been a very fatal attack into nothing.
Could have been very fake.
It's then going to use its bonus action to disengage, and it swoops round to the right to join formation. Come on, bats, get in formation. With its friend. That brings us to Walton.
Marvellous. Well, Walton is now feeling pretty miffed because everyone else is getting all the attention. And so, whereabouts are the bats now?
They're off to your left, and they're swooping away from you, but they're looking like they're banking to come back around next turn for another attack.
Okay. Do we have a distance on Shatter for a range? We've got
60 feet, but it's a
60 feet.
point within 60. I think it's 60.
It's a point within 60 feet that.
And
damages.
then it's a 10-foot cube
Yeah.
around that point, yeah.
Yeah.
You're really going for that shatter, aren't you?
I'm really desperate to use shatter.
Well, I tell you what, if you used all your movement to chase them, you could probably get in range.
Including tempestuous magic to fly 10 feet.
Yeah, good to cut a little bit off. Nice.
Got a little bit of that. Walton casts tempestuous magic using a bonus action, causing whirling gusts of elemental air to briefly surround me immediately before or after casting a spell. And this spell is going to be shatter.
Okay.
It's going to be shatter.
Would you like to narrate how shatter works for Walton for us?
A painfully intense ringing noise erupts from a point of your choice within range. So I'm going to point just behind two of these two bats and go, "Oi!"
And while it sounds like that to your allies, to them it's more of a sorry, stream.
Quite beautiful.
Thank you. I failed both my Constitution saving throws. I rolled an 8 and a 12, so roll 3d8 damage for me. I think d8's your... yeah, you got it.
1. Hooray. 6. So 13 in total.
13. Nice.
They're also bats, so they're freaked out by that. Yeah. They do not like loud noises.
Absolutely. And in fact, one of them, you can see that its ears have actually begun to bleed as it drops from the sky. The orc that's riding it, desperately trying to wake it up quite violently as it goes, come on, pull up. But actually, it just crashes into the ground, sending the orc, who was not wearing its seatbelt, flying about 60 feet ahead and just scatters on the floor, either unconscious or dead.
Could I just shout afterwards, "Sorry! Really sorry!"
That was the center orc. I was going to say it's going to try. You can see that the other bat is starting to think twice about this combat, and it kind of wants to retreat, but it's not its turn yet. So that brings us to Evelyn. Evan. I know, sorry. It's because I've written it down terribly.
How close is there one bat left?
Yeah, one bat left. It's about 90 feet away still. I know you're a melee combat thing.
I'm a melee girl. I will. I will actually turn to you.
Hello.
Lock.
To Locke. And kind of look out at the bat, gauge my range problem, look to you and say, "Are you hurt?"
Yes.
And then I reach out and do a healing hands. No, not healing hands, because there's two of these. Lay on hands.
Lay on hands.
And you're going to get 10 of my 20 hit points back to you.
Fantastic. So as this gold sunlight seems to come out of Evan's hand and begins to knit up Locke's wound in Locke's chest. Which brings us to Sea Scribe Venus. So you've got on the left the bat that came in to attack you. The center bat is gone, but the bat that came in to attack you is banking. It looks like it's thinking twice about whether to turn all the way around back for an attack or whether to just make for the hill. Run for the hills! What would you like to do?
Well, I was going to ask if I could send a ray of frost, but I don't know if that goes far enough, does it?
That's a cantrip, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I don't think that quite has the range.
Don't bother with that. No, definitely not. Okay.
So, of your options, you could, if you say it's about 90 feet, 80 feet away?
Yes, although it would be about 80 feet because of her elevated position.
So if she ran forward...
Trigonometry.
If she ran forward 30 feet, then she could cast Shatter as well.
She could?
Okay, so I'm going to leap off the caravan.
Can I get an acrobatics check, please? You did use the word leap.
I did, yes.
So you roll the blue one there, the d20?
Add 2 check.
What did
6.
A 6. So you kind of stumble on the landing and it does not look graceful at all.
Okay.
But I'm not going to punish you by taking any feet of movement away.
But I'm going to then stagger forward.
Yep.
About 10, was it 30 feet? I was going? Yeah, I was going to stagger forward 30 feet. And then what am I going to do?
You'll be in range to cast Shatter.
So yeah, then I'm going to cast a shatter.
Okay, and how does Sea Scribe Venus's shatter appear? Was it Walton's was "Oi"? Wasn't it, or something like that? Yeah.
Very much.
Mine sounds like the theme from EastEnders.
Yeah, like that.
but very distorted, yes.
That's my exact.
Amazing.
He feels a sense of ennui.
Once again, I've rolled a 15, so I do pass the saving throw, but that's 3d8
Only
damage,
just.
and I still take half of it, I believe.
So that's your D8 there. And then you roll it 3 times.
I'm rolling this one.
3 times, yeah. 3 that's 10 plus 11.
11. Okay, it is on its last wing, as it were.
It's got wings.
You can, in fact. Cheers, Tom. So you can, in fact, see that one of the wings with this repeated bass drum sound has actually broken and twisted, and it's trying to keep itself up with just the one wing. It's not succeeding particularly well. So you've used your movement, you've used your action, so that means we're going to move on to Locke. Can you finish it, Locke?
That's the plan. Firstly, I'll take about a 10-foot step away, just so she's not in my fly aura, which I'm going to dismiss in a minute.
So
anyway.
the flies are still buzzing around you.
Yeah, I don't want her to be poisoned. And then I, again, took 2 hands, both of my other blasts,
Sure.
out at this last one.
As the red energy skirts across the sky.
So that's 20 and 19.
Both hits straight in the side of the bat, in its working wing, and
That is 6 on that one and 9 on that one.
would you like to narrate to us this bat's death?
As I kind of take a quick short run away from my new friend, I kneel down and 2 red light, kind of force lights come out of my hand, and I sever both wings either side.
Oh wow, yeah,
So
you
just
sever
drops.
this bat's wings off, and the orc on top of it can only look on in dismay as it plummets to the ground.
Can I make eye contact with the dwarf and give it a wink?
Which dwarf was that?
Sorry, the orc.
Oh, the orc. And the orc it's kind of a Mad Max moment. It's a witness me kind of thing. As he looks back at you and you wink, he's like, "Ah!" and then into the ground nearby. At this, Suzma, who is about 120 feet away, holds axe in air and goes, "Fine! You are stronger and worthier than my bats. But can you take 120 of us all at once? I doubt it."
Would I be able to cast message, point at her,
Yep.
and say, probably?
Can you make an intimidation check for me, please?
Oh, rolled a 2. But I've got +4 to intimidation, so 6.
6?
That's sweet 6.
So the Suzma gets the message, probably, going through her head, and she just goes, "Well, human, we will find out in an hour. I give you 1 hour to leave Leeglen, or we will take you by force. We outnumber you 12 to 1. Go away." Can I get insight checks from everybody, please? So if you just roll the blue one for us there, and add your insight modifier.
Both plus 4.
8,
5.
17.
10.
10. So the three of you, yes, she absolutely means it. She completely intends to come down and remove your skulls and use them as goblets. You should probably be thinking quite seriously about that. Evan, however, you can see that actually, with some sort of almost sharper vision than the others, you can see the contrast of the dark figures on the horizon isn't quite as high as it is for everyone else, and you get to see some of their faces. One or two of them don't look as don't look as happy about this promised war
Oh.
as she is. You can see amongst the orcs all shapes and sizes, some of them diseased, some of them large, some of them very large, holding weird amalgams of great sword and great axes, this serrated just piece of metal with a handle, with horns and black matted fur, these ones being held on chains by two other larger orcs, and even though those other orcs are larger, they seem to be struggling to withstand these great beasts of ore-infected orcs that we met last session. There are 4 of these amongst the ranks, and you hear a certain voice inside of you speaking from the heavens, saying, "It is they. Those are the things I have brought you to save."
I nod, and I look around at everyone else.
I wave.
The wargs continue back up the hill and turn and stand, and then they make a partition and get off the road so that there's just enough space for your people, but not the caravan, to leave through them, and they just stand there waiting.
A pleasure to meet you.
And to meet you,
What's your name?
Evan.
Locke.
Pleased to meet you.
I make my cloak disappear. Back into my back.
The flies become a cloak again.
Hello. I'm Walton. Pleasure to meet you.
I am Evan.
Lovely to meet you. I was very shiny. Got very shiny things. Lots of very shiny shinies.
Yes, I was not sure what I would look like.
Oh. I have that trouble too sometimes. I mean, unless I've got something shiny to look at, I can't even tell.
Then you may look at me.
Very well. I smooth down my hair.
Well, we've got probably an hour to decide what we're going to do.
Well, I know what I must do, and I would like your assistance if I may.
Oh, certainly. Sorry to
no,
talk for all
let's
that
just find out what it is
Yeah,
first. It might be something really awful.
Well, I'm sorry. It's just...
I need to cut off all your arms. Then we're not going to do that, are we?
I mean, I've got 2.
James has played before.
I'm not falling for that again.
I am not in the business of cutting off arms,
Oh, that's such a relief.
That's good.
where it is not deserved.
Fair.
And I gesture with my spear towards where the beasts were. Oh, are they still up there?
They're still there. They're
Yeah.
still being held back. You can see actually that they have sort of makeshift muzzles on. Even they look like if there was a large savage Doberman, but black and a orc.
Nice. I point at one,
Huh?
and I say,
Yes,
You've got one,
there
right?
is, but they're hiding.
oh yeah, because they're not playing.
So I mean, Locke is the only person who knows about
yeah.
that.
So I point and I say, do you know anything of these poor creatures?
I know that they've been corrupted by the ore, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
They've lost their minds, they're violent, though it's not necessarily their fault.
Yes.
You look around, and Kesh and her small band, with Tanner, the orcs that were asking you for passage, are nowhere to be seen. Like when Suzma appeared, they must have just ducked for cover.
I tell you who would know something about that. We've got some friends. We've got some lovely friends. They'll probably know. Has anyone seen Kesh and that lot?
They are hiding from Susan. We said we'd look after them.
Nils, the venerated sort of sorcerer that is with you, trying to load up the ore, goes, well, they asked me to show them where to hide, so I put them in one of the buildings nearby. And can I just say that there is no way that we can give up the ore to these orcs?
I agree. They were very rude.
We need to...
Very rude.
and very dangerous. We need to find some kind of way of getting past them with the ore. If you would like to speak to Kesh, follow me. She's in this house.
Oh,
We'll introduce you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it'll be nice.
Yeah.
Nils walks you over to a nearby house and opens up the door. Everyone's following, I assume?
Yeah.
Yeah. And inside you can see one of the big, terrifying infected orcs, and it's such a bizarre scene. It's sat cross-legged, hunched over so it can fit almost in the house, and it's being fed what look like sweetmeats by one of the other orcs, which is sort of brushing its fur, and it's there trying to talk, but it is speaking in a language it doesn't even seem to recognize. It's coming out with and the other orcs just sort of shake their head like, we do not know what it says. Kesh greets you as you walk in. She's an orc, sort of greyish, greenish skin, depending on what light you catch her in, with 2 tusks coming up from her bottom lip. She bears a shield on her left hand, but her weapon is not drawn. As she comes in, she catches your eyes and goes, "Have they gone? Did you drive Suzma away?"
Not quite.
We
Sort
have 1
of.
hour.
We've got 1 hour before they attack us, and we're not leaving without the ore. They want to keep the ore.
Oh, give me a second. I pop my head out and check that they're still there.
They're definitely still there.
Yeah, they're definitely still there.
So you mean to fight them?
I mean, unless we can think of any other way to get past them with the ore.
We could dress up as, like, orcs.
I think they might see through that.
Right.
I look at my faintly glowing skin and kind of... Perhaps not.
Oh, all right.
You should know that if they see myself and my warriors, then they will attack us nonetheless. They are not only here for the ore, but they are hunting us.
I turn to you. Sorry, I turn to you and say, "These have helped you."
Well, they certainly haven't attacked us outright.
And they have kept their word to you.
Yes.
Then we shall keep our word to them.
If there is any way that we could rescue Tanner's brothers, who have also become infected by the ore, then I would much appreciate that.
I am here to do exactly this. I see where they are. I understand my own limitations were I to simply approach them directly from here. I do not suspect I would have much.
In that case,
They're
we need to set a trap.
Oh, lovely. I like that.
Now, I'm no genius, but we have
You're getting real confident, aren't you, James?
one good fight's all it takes. But we have a lot of explosive ore, and we're in a bit of a ramshackle town, which gives us lots of cover. If we could lure them in and set some of these things to blow up, then it would definitely take the odds down to possibly being more manageable.
And then we could dress up as orcs.
I mean, yeah, after they're dead, we could dress up as...
Marvellous.
We could have a costume party. And that's...
We could skin them and use their skin.
Oh, come on!
Wow!
You took that way too far.
That's harsh.
Did she? I mean, you've been doing some quite questionable things.
We've not been skinning orcs, though.
I don't know, Kidmat's drinking out... Well, doesn't he have a new candle holder?
I was not there for that.
I'd like to look at. Is it Tanner? No, Tanner. Yes, of course.
Tanner is the...
This-
yeah.
I'd like to.
The big one.
I'd like to roll whatever you'll have me roll for what I know from my god, what I can do to assist him if I have been sent to.
From your god specifically, so I'm gonna make this a religion check. Woohoo! Why not? Why not?
Yeah, it's a 14.
A 14. You know that the ore... Your god Corellan despises the ore that has been mined from the surrounding areas because it uses magic, but it corrupts as well. And Corellan is all about using magic to bring justice and cast light on hidden spaces and deveil mysteries and things.
Damn right.
This ore has something of a mysterious air to it. But it is not impossible that the effect could be reversed, according to your god. You personally
Yes.
don't know how to do that.
Sure. Then I to myself, I trust that I have the information I need, and I simply need to keep exploring and learning.
Yeah.
And then I will.
So Corellan entreats you to save as many as you can from this corruption.
Gotcha.
Would I be able to investigate what the language is at all? that Tanner speaks?
Yeah, cool. Roll an intelligence check. I would say maybe history,
dear.
if you've got history.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of history. Ooh, unnatural 20.
So a modified 20, fantastic. You immediately... No, it's fine. You immediately recognise the language as Abyssal, which is the language of demons, specifically. Yeah, it is. Well, no, technically the opposite. What you speak's Infernal.
That'd be fun.
I speak that.
So we've got everything we don't need.
Well, where's Mary now?
She's everywhere.
Press F
In a lot of places.
Press F to pay your respect. Right, anyway.
So I'll sit and I'll talk with Tanner briefly and listen to him and go, I've got no idea. I know it's Abyssal. I've got no idea what he's saying. He's
I've never
marvellous.
spoken Abyssal.
I have no idea. He's lovely, though. He's very soothing. Like a summer breeze.
I've become visibly uncomfortable at this language.
Sure.
Was it Evan?
Yes.
Should we have anyone else who wants to join us, should we have a wander around the town to see if there's any tactical places?
At this point, Kesh goes, if you truly mean to break free Tanner's brothers, then I know a way through the brush that Suzma does not. That's how I've evaded her. We can get back around behind them, maybe with 4 or 5 of us can get back around behind them, and that might help.
I'm already on my feet.
That could work. Certainly better than a full frontal assault.
True. So, as the adventurers plan their sneaky stealth mission to try and rescue some of these corrupted orcs, I'm afraid that is where we're going to have to leave this hour of Adventurers Wanted. I'm really sorry, I'm really loving these people. Thank you very much for coming. There are still 66 hours of Adventurers Wanted to go, so if you do feel free, to come back and join us. You can pay to come and play up on here. It costs the same, but that's what our wonderful ticketed players here, Reese and was it Julie? Julia, my bad, have been doing. So thank you very much to them. But even if you can't come back and join us again, we've been live tweeting the entire show at Adventurers250 over there. That's what Naomi's been doing on the laptop. And we are also live out on the internet on twitch.tv/Adventurers Wanted. Please do go tell all your friends about Adventurers Wanted. Everywhere else on social media, we are just Adventurers Wanted. Yes, if you're umming and ahhing about coming and playing, if you've never done it before, then please do give it a go. I know there's a certain stereotype that hangs around this hobby, but we're trying to bring it to as inclusive an audience as possible, and we do love introducing people to the hobby. I just want to quickly throw over to our players to plug anything that they're involved with here at the Fringe. If they're not involved with something, please feel free to make a recommendation for something that you want to bring to people's attention. I will start with Tom.
Oh, hello.
We'll start with James.
Hey! Prepared. I'm doing a show for children, which is really fun for adults as well. It's called Dr. James's Bad Schemes over in the other street venue, and it's in an hour. I should really go and do that. We're doing a one-off or two-off show next Monday and Tuesday. Again at 9:30 at night, and where we combine the music from Beauty and the Beast and the plot of Fight Club into Beast Club, which will be haunting.
Tom?
I am only at the Fringe as a punter, but I run a publishing company that publishes alternate history fiction. And if you like D&D, you might also be in the Venn diagram that includes liking what would have happened if history had gone differently. Ooh. We're called Sea Lion Press. We have about 70 books on sale in various Kindle and paperback formats, and they're rather good fun. So Sea Lion Press, if you like that sort of thing.
Fantastic. Julia?
I'm working in the Friends of the Fringe hut, so I have to remain completely impartial.
Fair play.
Shows, but I can promote being a friend of the Fringe.
Yay!
2-for-1 tickets on up to 15 shows out of over 2,000, and it's well worth it. And you get 10% off at the merchandise in the Fringe shop, and you get half-price tickets you can get at the Fringe of the Fringe, which is quicker than queuing up on Princess Street for them.
Absolutely.
So that plug for that.
Thank you. Reese?
I am also here just as a punter, but I would recommend going and finding something that you find weird. Anything that you find weird, anything that inspires you to go, oh, I want to see more of that. Just go and take a risk, take a chance, do it. You're here in Edinburgh, why not?
Very good advice. So all that remains for me to say is that there is a Patreon. If you really, really like what we're doing, we try and do this every month in London, and we run free play events, like I say, to bring the hobby to more and more people. Donate button on our website as well. And can I just ask you to show your appreciation to our wonderful players who've done incredibly well. I've really enjoyed this hour. And thank you very much, guys. We have got a quick 10-minute turnaround, so I hope to see you again soon.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Leo!
Leo!
Thank you very much, Leo.